now entered the most exciting part of the show. As promised, I have with me today a very high-profile panel that will scrutinize the three campaigns you've just seen and come to a consensus on which one was the most effective to win back the somewhat disillusioned and wary retail investor back to the bourses. How will they make them fall in love with the markets all over again? The panel really needs no introduction at all. On my left, I have Madhusudan Kela, the Chief Investment Strategist at Reliance Capital, the man who's earned a formidable reputation as a stock picker and built Reliance into India's biggest mutual fund. Thank you so much, Madhu.
Thank you, Pranav.
On my extreme right, I have Sam Balsara, the Chairman and Managing Director of Madison World, the only man who has successfully built and run a homegrown advertising conglomerate. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us.
My pleasure, Sonali.
On my immediate right, I have Ajay Kakkar, the Chief Marketing Officer, Financial Services, Aditya Birla Group, a very established marketing professional whose roots come from advertising. That's your first love, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
At the outset, let me first thank each one of you for taking time out and joining us. Our esteemed panel has seen all the three campaigns, just as you have, and now is the time for them to put on their judging hats and really delve deep and scrutinize the three campaigns. As explained earlier, these campaigns are targeted at the Indian retail investor and is meant to change the popular perception of the market being an unsafe place to grow one's money. With that, I'd really like to throw the discussion open, and I'd like to go campaign by campaign. And I want to, start the discussion first with you, Madhu. We know that you are, the stock expert. Let's start with the first campaign that you saw.
Which is like, the important message in the campaign is that the stock market is not all that risky.
Sure.
But it's a safe place to invest. But this is exactly contrary to what public perception is.
Okay.
That this is a very speculative place.
Right.
And this is where people lose eventually a lot of money.
Right.
You have to substantiate it by saying why is it a safe place.
Sure.
That, in the long run,
the
stock market is a safe place.
Right.
But people who are coming for, let's say, month or a year or 2 years may not find it appealing just to see an ad by saying that it's a safe place to invest.
Sam, if I can come to you on basis campaign.
Frankly, I found the campaign to be weak, both in terms of its strategic intent, its content, and the creative execution. It did not sort of go a long way in convincing me why I should start reinvesting. Secondly, I think in today's crowded market, I think the creative approach used by them, I think to my mind, is unlikely to stand out in the clutter.
Sure. Fair enough. Ajay?
Sonali, I think the timing of this show and this brief is just amazing. I think if only this was a real brief given to a real pitch with real money, this is what the market needs today. It needs conviction and it needs sentiment. Having said that, I think what is important for us to realize is that this is a campaign which has to affect the rational and emotional mind. Because you're talking about my hard-earned money. You need to tell me why I need to believe you so that I come back, and if I do, I come back with conviction.
Sure.
In this context, if you look at the campaign from Bates, the attempt is to tell you that there are other ways which are not as positive. You can take to the jail.
Yeah.
But it yet does not tell me why stock market.
Personally, it does something that is quite incorrect. If it is meant to talk to me, anyway, I was not thinking of doing something illegal, which it is suggesting almost that my option is either to do something illegal
Or the market.
or put money in the market. So be a nice guy and invest in the market. Back to my mind.
Let's look at the second campaign. I'd like your take on, Leo Burnett's campaign, which was an interesting play with the report card.
I think second campaign is definitely far more appealing because clearly markets, the timing is very, very important in the market, and there are a lot of other things. And I think timing is just the right, it is just the right time to have this kind of a campaign in this kind of market where stock markets have not made any return. And plus I think it is a very catchy concept also. You relate it to children, you relate it to cricket. So I think the overall context in which the the ad is being made is definitely much, much more appealing than the first campaign.
Okay. Sam?
Well, from my point of view, I think full marks to the Leo Burnett team on creativity. However, in terms of content, I have a little issue. Whilst maybe from a financial expert's point of view, timing is something that he relates to and he understands. I think from my point of view, it's not just about timing. From my point of view, you have to first convince me to invest. What the campaign is trying to tell me is timing is not important. Any time is a good time to invest. Now, I think any advertising campaign must attack the issue. It cannot just be fluffery and puffery.
Okay?
I think this campaign may win my heart, but not necessarily my wallet.
Okay.
And like they say in all advertising, if you have children out there, it can win your heart.
Yeah.
As Madhu said, add cricket to it, then you've got a winner.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the brief is about getting my wallet into the stock market. And if you tell me when equity, but you don't tell me why equity, I think it's a task not complete.
You are appealing to someone to invest thousands or lakhs of rupees of hard-earned money. It's not like buying a soap or a shampoo. If you go wrong, the downside is very, very limited.
Sure.
But here, if you go wrong, so I think it has to be, and that has to be in the context that people have not made any money in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
On the contrary, people have lost money if they were doing individual stock investing from 2008.
I mean, at least there should have been emotion of investigation, if not investment immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, according to me, whilst this idea of brand equity is brilliant, I think it also brings home one another important point related to advertising. And that is that advertising cannot solve all problems. You have a bad soap, advertising can't help you. So I think first you need to therefore solve that issue a little correctly and then bring in advertising. So if you have a good product, if the market's for delivery, and then you advertise to the retail investor, you'll see magic happening.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that is not true, sir. In this is the
Correct
only place in the
this
is the only place in the world where higher the prices, higher the demand, and lower the prices, lower the demand. So you have to be a contrarian actually to make money. If the markets are doing well, you don't need any advertising.
I did that 3 years ago. Today I'll be down in the dumps, right?
No, but 3 years ago was not a contrarian time. Today is a contrarian time. The last 5 years, virtually your earnings have gone up 50%. But markets have been flat. This is a contrarian time.
Advertising is a one-way communication. And when I have so many perceived barriers, where I have so many experiences which I have understood or misunderstood, I think there has to be a window for a dialogue. For example, I'm saying is, you have to give me a helpline at the end of this.
Oh, like that. Okay.
You have to bring in a two-way engagement.
Sure.
You have to give me an opportunity to speak to the experts because one ad is not going to convince me.
Madhu, the third campaign, which was the campaign by Scarecrow on, data set whole 2012, the world coming to an end scene.
Yeah.
And, juxtapose that with the market.
Frankly, I didn't like the ad because again, it's more negative than the positive. That, this is what happened in 2012 and the prediction did not go right up 2012 and hence markets also so many people have predicted and people have not gone right. So you must believe me that it's not a very risky place. I think in terms of content again, very, very shallow.
Not only was it weak on content, I think if I'm in an investment mode, then of course I'll be positive. But you are reminding me about all the negatives and major disasters, including end of the world. I mean, to my mind, the context setting is also a bit wrong over there, in my humble opinion.
I think this campaign is talking about long term, and a retail customer is going to ask you how long is long. Unfortunately, the market may not have been at its best in 3 years, may not have been at its best in 5 years. And if you tell me anything beyond 5 years, people say, who's seen beyond 5 years?
Sure.
Especially remember the temptation. We've heard so many stories of people who put into real estate and benefited.
Yeah.
We've heard people having put into gold and never regretted. And these stories actually overpower me because I've heard them for generations.
Sure.
So long term is not good enough because how long do I wait?
The most important point is that even if you take as long a period like 25 years, stocks have still compounded your money by more than 15%. That's humongous. Bank deposits have given you 8-9%. Gold has also given you single digits in spite of whatever rise we have seen. In these 25 years, everything which could go wrong has gone down.
Yeah.
Oil went up to $150, the Iraq-Iran war, blah, blah, blah. Everything which could go wrong. Katrina happened in America, 2008 meltdown. Whatever could go wrong in the world has gone wrong in the last 25 years. But in spite of that, equities have returned 15% compound return. That is the powerful campaign which we need to communicate to the retail investors.
The unfortunate problem with the stock market is if you take the 25 years yardstick, yes, everybody has made money.
You take whatever yardstick you want.
If you take a 3-year yardstick, not many people have made money. Maybe Madhu has the ability to make money in 3 years.
It is not an instrument anyway for a 3-year investor. I'm sorry to say that. Because, at the end of the day, tell me, if you bought a property 10 years back, do you call your real estate agent and ask him every day what is the price of the property?
Because it generally goes up.
That's what I'm saying. Generally, if you kept in the stock market for 25 years, it's generally gone up 15%. But has done much better than your property. In spite of last 5 years of flat or negative return. That's the point which I'm trying to say. That if you have invested in the markets and if you really understand, this is for saving. This is not to wait. When I buy a jewelry, do I call up jeweler every day and ask him what is the price of the gold and what is the price of my jewelry? I generally take a long-term view.
Also, Sonali, a point that I think if a campaign addressed not where I should go, but why where I am is detrimental to my
Exactly, ma'am. If you just if you kept 1 lakh rupee in a saving account at 4%, that money has become 65,000 10 years later.
Adjusted to inflation.
Adjusted to inflation.
Yeah.
So 1 lakh has become 65,000 if you just kept it in saving account.
If you look at snippets like this which a customer can relate to, this is not, according to me, a audience who looks at channels, business channels or stock market related channels. He's a man who looks at soap operas.
Sure.
He lives his dreams, and if you make him realize that what he is doing is possibly not in his own interest, you make him realize that 1 lakh is 1 lakh, but the value of that is 65,000. Maybe he will be forced to think of alternates, and when he thinks alternates, then you tell him why.
So now can I just give you one idea? With all this, maybe you can communicate to them. You just have to essentially ask the retail investor, आपका पैसा बढ़ रहा है कि घट रहा है?
Tell me, Madhu, of the 3 campaigns that you have actually seen, which one do you, if I made you choose one as a campaign you thought was best?
Creativity wise, and also because I'm a subject is my subject. I said that the timing is right.
Yeah.
So I clearly like the Leo Burnett campaign.
You like the Leo Burnett campaign.
Exactly.
What about you, Sam?
Well, very clearly, I like the Leo Burnett campaign for its creativity, its impact on the consumer, its ability to grab attention.
Yeah. Ajay?
If the objective was to win hearts, then I think the Leo Burnett campaign did that the best.
Okay. So you're saying of the 3, none of them really convinced any of us to invest in the market,
Correct.
but at least Leo Burnett was
On creativity
and they had one thing right, which was timing.
Yeah.
Well, clearly no discussion, debate and rumination required for this particular one. I mean, all the panelists seem to think that of the 3, Leo Burnett seemed to be far ahead compared to the others. Not to say that Leo Burnett had it bang on, but, they seem to have got it at least partially right in terms of, just stressing on the timing and playing on the timing factor to be investing in the market. Not to forget the fact that also the production value and their execution was simply superior compared to the rest of the 2 campaigns. So many, many congratulations to Leo Burnett and the entire team that worked on this particular campaign for Brand Equity Special Initiative. Special thanks to KV Sridhar, also known as Pop. Pop, thank you so much for doing such a fantastic job. Over to you on your comments on winning the Brand Equity Special Initiative.
First, thank you, Sonali, for inviting us and then to be part of this competition. Second, thank you, jury, and then we are very, very delighted. and then very happy that, work has been appreciated. We kept it simple, and then we expected people to really view the ad also in a simplistic way. Thank you, jury, for that.
Well, we also had a Viewer's Choice Award. We put up all the campaigns on our Facebook page and opened it for public voting. And this is how the numbers stacked up. Many, many congratulations to the winner, that's Leo Burnett. And once again, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank each one of you for taking time out and joining us for this special initiative. Mr. Kela, thank you for joining us. I know you've rushed after your market hours, and I'm sure, Sam, if not anything else, at least for you and me, we've got some tips.
Absolutely.
For all of you all who missed a very big tip that he did give, he did say that, you have to be contrarian when you think of the market, and if the market is down and out, this is the time to invest. At this point, I'd also like to thank all the participating agencies, that's Base, Scarecrow and Leo Burnett, for taking time out of their busy schedules and creating campaigns specially for Brand Equity's 4th anniversary.